I don't know how good the connection is here. Hopefully it's doable. I am connected to their Wi-Fi, but I don't know what the connection's like, so if it's not good, I'm sorry. Um, so so today is Thursday. Yesterday, I got my infusion of my NK cells. They call them, is it NK cells? K, they're called killer cells. I got my infusion of my killer cells, which they took out of my body on Monday, did something with them Tuesday, and put them back in my body on Wednesday. Today, they gave me my vaccine, which isn't, everyone who's like, it's a trigger word for a lot of people. It's not that kind of vaccine, which I probably shouldn't even be saying that because they may flag this video. But it's basically they take your dendritic cells and do something. They basically turn them into a VAX. Basically, hello, whoever's there, welcome. I hope you're doing well. But basically, what they do is they take your dendritic cells and they take your killer cells and they retrain them. It's like, hi Pam, good to see you. See, when you send me a message, I know who's there. If you don't send me a message, I have no way of knowing. I don't know how people know. But so they made the VAX with my dendritic cells, and they injected that into me today. Tomorrow I'm going to get more of them injected into me. So they injected into my leg, and then tomorrow they'll inject it into the other leg, and then Monday they're going to inject it one more time back into the first leg, because I don't have 3 legs. How they do that, and I'm actually was rather impressed, because first they give me a shot of lidocaine, which when I had this thing, my port put in, it's out now, so it's just a scar. But when I had my port put in, they gave me a shot of lidocaine, and it hurt. It hurt. It was not pleasant. Now, granted, there's not a whole lot of flesh there. It's real close to the bone, so maybe that's why. But also it could be because what they did today is they had this really cold ice pack, and they put the really cold ice pack on me for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And then when they took that off, I was pretty good and numb. So they numbed me even for the lidocaine shot. So they shot me with the lidocaine, and it didn't hurt. I didn't feel it at all. And then they injected the VAX into me. That was a slightly painful. There was a little bit of pain involved in that, but because they're putting about this much stuff in your muscle, and so your muscle's not made to receive fluids like that. So there's a slight bit of pain. And then after that, I had to sit still for 10 minutes. And then after that, I had to walk around for 15 minutes. And then once I was done with that, I was done. And the same thing tomorrow. It'll be the same thing tomorrow. Same thing Monday. So once that was done, I went and had my consultation, because yesterday I had an ultrasound done, because remember, the pains that I've been having. Well, the doctors in America didn't care that I've been having those pains. They weren't curious about it. They said, I don't know what it is, and that was the end of it. Well, here they actually care. Here they wanted to find out what the problem was. So the doctor here suspected that it's something with my pancreas. So that's why they did the ultrasound, so that they could get a look at my pancreas and also get a look at my liver and the tumors and find out how big the tumors are in my liver, how much they may have grown. So I was kind of nervous to get the results of my ultrasound, because anytime you have cancer and they do a scan and you get results, I don't care who you are, you're always afraid. You're always afraid they're going to give you terrible news. And I'm always expecting it. I'm always just waiting for them to say, well, it's spread to your kidneys and it's spread to your lungs and it's spread here. So here's what the results were. And they also did a very extensive blood test. So the results from the ultrasound really weren't bad. Um, they said now, measuring your tumors with an ultrasound is not quite as accurate as measuring your tumors with a CAT scan, but we can get in the ballpark. So my last CAT scan, my biggest tumor in my liver was like 13 centimeters, and they measured it to be 12.5 centimeters. So they said either A, it's not grown at all, or B, it's shrunk a little bit, which is good news, right? Everything else seemed normal. There doesn't appear that there's been any spreading to any other of my abdominal organs. Good. That's good news, right? She started off with the positive. I wish she would have ended with the positive, because there's stuff coming that's not quite as positive. She says, however, then she went over the blood tests. You've got these issues with your liver. Your liver is not functioning as well as it has been. However, there's reasons. There could be reasons for that. Number one, this last month, I have not been on my protocol. I've not been doing the protocol like I should. That could have a lot to do with it. Number two, the last time I was here, she put me on Laetrile, which she knows is hard on the liver, but she thought that the benefits might outweigh the cost. So she said, since your liver seems to be starting to struggle, she's taken me off the Laetrile, and she's going to give me a bunch of other things that are going to support my liver. My vitamin D levels are too high, because even though they're having me take a vitamin D supplement, she says your liver is not metabolizing it. So we need to take I'm going to go off of the vitamin D for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to start taking again once a week. And she took away a few other things that, are just kind of hard for my liver to metabolize. So, she's changing up, and I'm going off the Hoxsey tonic, because with the dendritic cell therapy, I cannot be on the Hoxsey tonic while I'm, going through the dendritic cell therapy. So the thing that could be bad news, which we don't know yet, she wants me to get a PET scan when I get back to the U.S., which is hard to do. I don't know if you've ever been down the road with insurance agents, insurance companies, but they don't like to pay for PET scans. Something about PET scans they don't like you doing. So I asked her to write me a letter as a doctor saying that you highly recommend that I get a PET scan. They can't do it here in Mexico. So the reason why she wants me to get a PET scan is because when they looked at my pancreas through the ultrasound, there was nothing wrong with it. It seemed to be perfectly fine. It's not enlarged, it's not inflamed. So she doesn't think that there's any good reason why I should be having the pain that I'm having. So she says, and I consulted with the radiologist and said, yes, they're very expensive, Pam, right? And I hope I don't. I'm going to look for much better insurance in Tennessee than I had in Missouri. But she asked the radiologist to be a doctor of some sort too, because they all consult with each other, and they've all been working there for, years and years. She says, if she's having this pain and it's not her pancreas, then what else could it be? And he said, well, I can think of 2 other things that it could be. Number one, she's got, sorry, my son's trying to break in while I'm doing my video. Go on, get out of here. Not right now. Thank you. He's cooking dinner. He brought me a taste. My son's visiting with me down here in Tennessee, where am I? Mexico. Anyway, he says it could be one of 2 other things. One, it could just be arthritis. I could have a really bad case of arthritis in my shoulder or down here somewhere in my ribs or something, which seems kind of far-fetched to say that it could be that. It could be a bone thing where you're just having arthritis pains. Or 2, the cancer could be in my bones. So that's why they want me to do a PET scan, because PET scans are more, I don't think you can find out about that with a CAT scan. You kind of have to do a PET scan. So we need to find out if the cancer's in my bones, which is going to be hard in the U.S. because if you don't do their protocol, they're not too inclined to help you get other procedures done. So I definitely need to. But however, even if I have it in my bones, the Hoxsey treatment wouldn't be any different. They're like, we would treat you the same way. because our treatment is all it treats all cancers. And I'm doing the dendritic cell therapy, so that could take care of the cancer in my bones if I have it in my bones. So, in some sense, I feel like maybe I don't need to get a PET scan. Maybe I just need to do this therapy, which I'm doing, and wait 3 months because there's nothing more they could do for me anyway. Nothing else they could do for me. Nothing additional they could do for me if I've got cancer in my bones. So, kind of scary, but I feel like a big part of the problem is just that I wasn't on my regimen the way I should have been. And so when I get back home, I'm going to be much more on track with it. I don't have to take the tonic, which is like one less thing to do 4 times a day. So I'm really happy about that. So my iron levels were low. I'm not anemic though, but she says, I do want to work on your iron levels. You need to bring your iron up. And a lot of other things are good. Like she said, my immune system is functioning well, which is crazy because I have cancer. But according to the blood test, everything indicates that my immune system is working properly. And she says, yeah, there was something else. What was it? Other levels that were high, but she says a lot of that has to do with your hydration. She says, I'm not hydrating myself and I need to hydrate myself better. Yeah, I know that. I'm not real good at, I mean, when I'm traveling, I'm not real good at hydrating myself. I'm better when I'm at home and I'm in a routine. So that's my news. I feel the effect of the injection they gave me today, and they told me that I would feel it. They said you're probably going to get achy and feel really worn out and tired. You might get headachy. I don't have a headache, thankfully, but I feel stiff and sore, kind of like I have the flu. Only I don't feel sick like I have the flu, just the body aches. And it's kind of rough, moving around is kind of hard right now. And so I'm getting another one tomorrow and another one Monday, and I don't know if it's going to be cumulative. I hope not. But if it does the job, this is so much better than all the crap I went through with chemotherapy. I'll take this any day over that. And I've got my son here, and he's helping out, and he's cooking dinner, so praise God for him. And today's his birthday. So if anyone would like to say happy birthday to my son, who is 25 years old, he is a quarter of a century old today. Say it in the comments, and I'll let him know that you said happy birthday to him. He's a good kid, and I love him to pieces. All my kids are good kids, and I love them all to pieces. But he's here with me now. So hello to the other person who's watching. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're having a great day. The weather, oh my gosh, the weather here is so wonderful. It is so nice. It's warm, but it's not hot. And there's not a breath of humidity anywhere. And it's just so nice. It's so nice. This is the kind of place where you want to be outside because it's just so nice. I really thought Tijuana would be a little hotter than San Diego because it is slightly further south, but it's not really. It's nice. Nice. So this is my room in Tijuana, my bedroom. So this is a house, and they rent out bedrooms to clients. So I've got a roommate who has one of the other bedrooms. She's also a client in the clinic. Oh, thank you, Pam. I'll let her know that you said happy birthday, and yeah, we'll enjoy our time. Tomorrow night we're going to go on like a little cruise. Just a short little 2-hour cruise, and then after that we're going to go have dinner, and then Saturday we're supposed to go to LA, which will be nice. Yeah, I don't know that he's ever been to LA, except for maybe the airport. I don't even know if he's been to the airport, so that'll be interesting. So yeah, we're gonna have a good weekend. So, all right, so that's my update. If you've tuned in late, then I guess you'll just have to wait till it uploads and listen to the rest of it. There's a little bit of good. Oh, so back to the good. So, the one tumor appears to either not have grown or possibly shrank a little bit, but it's still very active. So just because it's not growing doesn't mean it's not active. And my tumor markers in my blood are still going through the roof. So the tumor markers in my blood are antibodies or No, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, it starts with an A. Um, like proteins, whatever, proteins. Some kind of, they're proteins that come off of the enzymes. Oh gosh, I don't know. Anyway, they're a piece of the tumor, and it's not like a whole cell. It's like an enzyme or something. Anyway, that is what my dendritic cells are supposed to be attacking and getting rid of those. Because she said, just because your tumors may not be growing, it's still putting off a lot of waste in your blood, and the stuff that's in your blood can obviously, the more of it that's in your blood, the more likely you can have, the more likely things will spread. So she says we really got to get those tumor antigens. I think it's an antigen. I think that's what it is. Tumor antigens down in your blood. So that's what all this dendritic therapy is supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be attacking that and getting rid of it. So I come back in 3 months to find out how well it's working. And I need to get on the protocol very strictly again so that my numbers will look good in 3 months. So I'm hopeful. I still feel pretty good. I mean, as of right now, I don't feel great because of the side effects of what they did to me today, but it's not going to last. I'll be better probably by morning or maybe weekend or whatever. Thanks, Pam. I appreciate you. I appreciate your prayers, and I hope you're doing well. I always appreciate hearing from you. Thank you so much for tuning in, and if you have anything to share with me, anything I could pray for you about, I would be happy to do so. So take care. God bless. And if you're not in a place that has weather as wonderful as San Diego, I'm sorry. But at least it's summertime and we're not freezing our tuchuses off. All right, take care, guys. God bless.